Hello, Magic Casters of all shapes and sizes. My name is Chance, welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for tuning into the 39th episode of our second level spell series. Today we're going to be taking a look at another spell that's exclusive to the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount book. I know a lot of you have mixed opinions about a lot of these spells, but I really like this one. I'm not too sure if I'd give it to characters, but I like the concept of it for sure. So today we're going to be taking a look at Immovable Object. And this spell is usable by the Graviturgy Wizard, which is basically the Gravity Wizard, if that makes sense. And the spell is pretty much what it implies it is, but I really like the way it goes about it. That being said, let's take a look at its mechanics. So the effect at a glance is as followed. An object you touch becomes magically fixed in place. The object can be moved by designated individuals, password, or making a strength check, and naturally that's versing your spell save DC. And the object can support up to 4,000 pounds, which is pretty dang great. Your cast time is 1 action, the range is touch, the saving throw is strength, the duration is 1 hour, and at higher levels it's a little bit unique because it breaks it down based on what spell slot you're using. So if you're using a spell slot of 4th or 5th level, it adds 5 to the DC, becomes 8,000 pounds, and lasts for 24 hours. But if you use a spell slot of 6th level or higher, you get a plus 10 to the DC, which is quite impressive, and it is 20,000 pounds and it lasts until dispelled. The components are verbal, material, and somatic. That material component, in case you're curious, and you should be, is gold dust worth at least 25 GP, which this spell consumes. So every time you cast this, you lose 25 gold, essentially. And the skill is Transmutation, which is pretty cool. What I really like is how it deals with at higher levels, and I also just really like the way it's worded. It seems pretty cool. With that in mind, let's take a look at the full description to better understand what this spell is exactly. You touch an object that weighs no more than 10 pounds and causes it to become magically fixed in place. You and the creatures you designate when you cast this spell can move the object normally. You can also set a password that, when spoken within 5 feet of the object, suppresses the spell for 1 minute. If the object is fixed in the air, it can hold up to 4,000 pounds of weight. More weight causes the object to fall. Otherwise, a creature can use an action to make a strength check against your spell save DC. On a success, the creature can move the object up to 10 feet. At higher levels, when you cast a spell slot using a spell slot of 4th or 5th level, the DC to move the object increases by 5, it can carry up to 8,000 pounds of weight, and the duration increases to 24 hours. You can cast a spell using a spell slot of 6th level or higher, the DC to move the object increases by 10, it can carry up to 20,000 pounds of weight, and the effect is permanent until dispelled. Very, very cool. Needless to say, this has a ton of very interesting story applications, as well as general kind of shenanigans, I guess, being the best way to put it. That being said, let's take a look at some alternative uses here. So personally, I see a lot of potential humor for this spell. I just think it'd be hilarious. I think one of the best things to cast this on would be anything of value, like a crown, for example, on a pedestal, or something else that you know someone is trying to steal. I think it'd be hilarious to watch them grab it and try and make a run for it, only for it to not go anywhere and have them just get caught up in their own feet. I think that'd be hilarious. On a more practical level, using this on doors or various other entryways could be incredibly useful, especially if you either have a high spell save DC, or if you also put a lock on it, or some other means. For example, Arcane Lock would be a really cool kind of spell to combo up with this. And on a completely different level, but still in the same vein of thought, using this to bewilder and excite crowds would be something very cool. I would love to make an NPC who uses this spell as a street performer and does all kinds of like weird tricks that should be impossible, kind of like the street performers actually do. For example, the genie that looks like he's floating out of nowhere, even though you know he's sitting on a metal thing. But I think it would just be a cool spell on a thematic level, as well as practical, but the thematic element of this should not be ignored. That being said, if you have any ideas, thoughts, concepts, questions, comments, concerns, please put them down beneath in the comment section. I really do love hearing from you guys. And if you like that cool hand-drawn drawing of Sips and you like your own hand-drawn D&D picture, please check out the guild hall to figure out exactly how to do that. That being said, thank you so much, everyone. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day, and as always, happy casting.